too much coffee. That's why. Yeah. How's your day? Everything is okay?
Yeah, everything fine.
Right.
So, uh, we were studying about arrays, right?
Yep. Uh, we done with array. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
just something is some topics are pending.
Close. I think you told me there's.
We will cover closer. We'll start with closer today.
Uh-huh.
I hope you can see my screen.
Ah, yes. Your yes code.
Nice. So I have told you about the operator that is called map, right?
Yes. Map. Find. Reduce.
Filter,
And filter. Yes. And there is one more. Index find.
index of find index,
Yeah. Finding
find
index.
index. That is called find index. So can you tell me the use of filter method?
Filter methods. For filter method, we have to use also callback method.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for example, I I know what is it actually. Let me check my codes. I'm gonna
So see, for example, consider this.
filter. Yeah. For example, we can find uh, bigger number than zero. We can print all number big than zero, or we can find other things in the array with filter method.
So see, whenever someone asks you about filter method, so
Mhm.
filter method is basically used to provide a shorten array with the given condition. So for example, take this
Uh-huh.
array, which is having three students information, in which first student is having 95 marks, second is
Mhm.
having 80, third is having 92. Now
Mhm.
suppose someone asks you to shorten this array and give a new array of students who have
Mhm.
marks greater than 90,
Yep, with
then we
filter.
will use filter method.
Correct.
Okay, so whenever someone gives you a condition and they ask you, okay, give me a give me a array with this
Mhm.
condition, then use filter method. So how you can use it? So it's very easy. Const filtered student array equals to
Filter
student details dot
dot
filter. Again,
filter.
it will
Uh-huh.
take a callback function,
Yep.
and here inside this
Arrow
callback
function.
function, we will give the condition. So el dot
Uh-huh.
marks should be greater than 90.
90 and console log something.
Yeah, and we can print that array.
We don't need return something in.
Return something where?
We don't need use return keyword.
No, no. If you are
Yeah.
using like this, if you
Arrow.
are
Yeah.
if you are giving this curly braces,
Mhm.
then you have to write return also. So in the arrow function, I think I have told you already that whenever you
Yeah.
are,
We don't need it.
yeah, so it depends on you which syntax are you
Mhm.
using. So if you are using this, then you can use return el dot marks greater than 90. So you can see inside the filtered array, only two objects have came, in which
Yeah.
one marks was 95, marks was 92.
Yeah.
This one is eliminated.
Yep.
Okay. So this is the use of filter method. This is used
Yes.
a lot, and it always returns a new array.
Yes.
Okay.
And one
Similarly,
more is reduce.
one more is reduce.
Reduce method.
One is slice. One is splice. There is a lot.
Oh, really? I know. Just no. Splice method and push method is different. Of course, it's simplest one. Yeah.
Push method is used when you want to push a new element to the array. For example, there are three elements in the array, 11,
Yes.
15, and 17. Now you want to add a new element to the array, maybe 20. So you can do array dot push 20. So you can see this one. Fruit. Earlier, the fruits array was having two things, apple and banana. And now they have pushed orange. So now the array is apple, banana, and orange. Similarly, there is one method called pop. So pop will always bring the last element of the array. It will remove the last element that is present in the array. So in
Yep.
this case, the last element was orange. So now the array is having only two things, apple and banana. Similarly,
Yeah, it's clear to me.
there is something called shift.
Unshift.
There is something
Shift
called
and
unshift. Shift will remove first element of the array,
Yep.
and unshift will add element to the array at the first position.
Front. Yeah. Under the front.
Okay. Remove an item by by an index position. So you want to remove banana from the array, the first element of the array. So I have told you that day that strawberry is 0, banana is first, mango is second. So you want to remove the index that is on first, that is banana. So you can use this operator called splice.
Yes, sir. I get it.
Okay. And so basically it takes two things.
Yeah, I know that one. One of them is a new array. Which one would you like to add? Other one is where you wanna add, which position. I mean, which array.
Right. So first one is the position. If you want to remove something from the first position, and n is the number of elements.
Yep.
How many elements you want to remove?
Yes.
Okay.
There's so much. Almost done.
So see, there are so many methods in array.
I hope they're not gonna ask me all of them.
No. Basically, they will ask about reduce, then maybe, and this slice and splice are used a lot.
Oh, really? Okay. Splice. Let
Yeah.
me take note.
So slice and splice, you should have a good knowledge of. Then this filter, map, for each, all these you should have a knowledge of. Okay.
Pop.
So have you done the homework? I have given you one homework to remove duplicates from the array.
Yes, if you want, I can write down right now.
No, I will give you time at the end of the class. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. For next time.
So this was about arrays. Any question in arrays?
That's it.
Huh?
All set. I got it. Everything.
Okay. So tell me, arrays are reference data types or primitive data types?
Array is not primitive data types. It's reference type. Yeah. Is it true or?
Yeah, arrays are reference data types. It means they are stored at a location in the memory. So whenever we define a new array, it takes a new location in the memory.
Memory.
So whenever you compare them, if a array is having 1, 2, 3, and there is another array which is also having 1, 2, 3, but if you compare them, then it will
It
return
will be
false.
false.
Yeah, because they are having different locations in the memory. So when they will be checked, their location will also be checked, and which will be different. So this was about arrays. Okay. So if you want to explore more about arrays, you can go through this link, Mozilla Docs.
Definitely.
Okay. So now I will move to the next topic, and that is called closures. And that is very, very important topic in terms of your interview. In every out of 99 interviews out of 100, closer will be asked in one way or the other, but closer will be asked in every interview. So do you have any knowledge of closer? What is a closer?
No idea. I told you first time I'm hearing about closer.
Great.
Maybe I know something, but it's the first time. You know, it's new for me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so excited to know what is it.
No issue. No issue. So closer. So first I will start with a small example. Okay. So for example, we have a function outer, and this function is having one variable, maybe where age equals to 12, and inside this function again there is a function that is inner. Okay. And this function is using
other function,
this variable.
Variable. Okay.
Okay. So what is happening here? This function, the inner one, it is forming a closure with respect to this variable age. So what happens in JavaScript is that every function that is declared, a closure is formed with the surrounding variables. That surrounding variables are automatically ingested into the inner functions, into that function definition. So it means that inner function, when the inner function will be defined, inner function will check, okay, what are the variables that are defined across me, that are surrounding me. All that variables, inner function will be able to use it. So inner function will form a closure with respect to this outer function, that is age variable, will be now a part of inner function.
Okay.
Okay. So if I print inner, if I call inner inside this outer function, and I call outer like this.
Yeah. Let's see what happened.
So you can see 12 is printing.
Give me 1 second. 12. Okay.
So what is happening? What is happening when outer is called? This inner function will be called, because this line is a part of outer function. When this inner function will be called, it will print age, and age is a part of closure that inner function is forming with respect to this outer function.
Okay, now 12 is which one, outer or inner one?
This one. This age variable that is a part of outer function is now a part of inner function because of closure.
Oh, let me clarify that one. Number 12, it's output for outer function or inner function?
See, first thing is I am printing this 12 in inner function.
Yes, first one.
Okay. So I have to call this inner function. Whenever this inner function will be called, this variable age will be printed, which value is 12.
Yep.
Okay, and
First
I am
one, inner function is execute. After then, outer.
Inner function is executed by because on line 11 I am calling this outer function.
Okay.
And inside this outer function I am calling the inner function. Okay. So
Yep.
when outer function will be executed, the compiler will execute inner function. And when inner function will be executed, 12 will be printed.
Okay.
Getting it?
Yes.
I am calling the outer function. And
Yes.
outer function is calling the inner function. And inner function is printing the value of age, which is a part of outer function.
Now it's perfect.
Which is a variable of outer function. But why inner function has access to age? Because of something called closure.
Closer.
Okay, because when inner function will be defined, compiler will see what are the different variables that are surrounding the inner function. It will see, okay, age is one variable. So age will now be ingested into the closure of inner. And now the interviewer will ask you where this closure is stored. How can I see the closure? So let me explain you that also. So what you do, we will try to see it in the browser, how this inner function is looking like. And I have told you in the previous classes that whenever you want to see a function body, you can do console.dir. I have told you, right? Or not?
Yes, you told me. Yep.
Okay. So whenever
sorry,
you want...
I shake my head. That's why, sorry, I should answer to you.
Yeah. So whenever you want to print the body of a function, you can use console.dir.
Yep.
Okay. And this will work when you will work with browser. So in index.html, instead of first.js, I will write closer example.js. And let me run this file. So you can see the inner function. And when I go to the scopes, you can see something called closure. And inside closure, you can see this age. So your answer should be that inside the scopes, of inner function, this closure will be stored. It means this inner function is containing this age variable inside the scopes. Inside the scopes, there is another object called closures. And inside that closure, this age is stored.
Yes.
Okay, so interviewer will ask you where this closure will be stored. Your answer should be, it will be stored inside the scopes of the function. Inside the scopes, there will be an object called closures, and inside closure, there will be the objects. There will be the variables which are forming closure, which this function has formed closure with. Okay.
Yeah.
And one more thing is, for example, now there was another variable, maybe where now this name variable, when I go to the browser, So now you can see that only age is there. The name variable has not come.
Oh my God, why? So
So
interesting.
what this inner function will do, this inner function will form a closure with only that variables which it is using. So you can see inside the inner function, we are using only age. We are using not name. So in
Yes,
the
if we
closure
used,
object,
we're gonna see also that.
we're gonna see that also, right?
Got
So
it.
if I
Okay.
do console.log
sense.
name, so this name will also be a part of closure.
Mhm.
So if I open it, scopes, closure, you can see age is also there and name is also there.
Yeah.
Because now both are used in the inner function. Okay.
Yes.
So this is what a closure is. Just we have started with just the basics. So there is a lot in closure. But first, have you got the basics? What is a closure?
Yes.
When an inner
Yes.
function is made, when a function is made, it creates a, it makes it it takes all the surrounding variables into itself. It forms a closure with all the surrounding variables. And if we want to see a closure, we can do console.dir of that function, and inside the scopes of that function, there will be an object called closures.
Yep.
Okay, so this is what a closure is. Every function takes its surrounding variables in an object called closures.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what a closure is. Now there are actually a lot of things in closures, so we will discuss each and everything today, if we can.
Let's do that.
So first let me open that link. So first let us see the definition, what this is saying. A closure is the combination of a function bundled together with references to its surrounding state. In other words, a closure gives you access to an outer function scope from an inner function. So basically, if in this example, this display name is an inner function and you have access to this name, that is a part of outer function. Name is a part of init, not a display name. But still display name is having access to this name. Why? Because of closure.
Closure.
Okay. So this display name will have access to the surrounding variables because of closure.
Yeah. Interesting. Access to around variable.
Okay. So again, there is the same example: function, make function, name, display name, return display name. So what basically they are doing? So here, instead of calling this inner, maybe I'm returning inner. So as I have already told you, JavaScript is a functional programming language. From a function, you can return function also. That is what I'm doing. Outer is a function in which I have made one function inner, and now I am returning inner from outer. Are you getting it? What I am doing?
Yes.
From outer function, I am returning a function. Yep. So that's why JavaScript is a so called functional programming language. From a function, you can return functions. Okay. Yep. So, and maybe I am so what I will do when I will call this outer function, const result function equals to outer. So when I will execute this statement, this result function will be inner. Please, if you are not getting it, please stop me. Please don't hesitate to ask anything.
Now it's still clear to me.
Yeah. So what I am doing here is I am calling this outer function. This outer function, when it will be called, it will return a function. Which one? Inner. So this function I'm taking in a variable.
Yep.
And now I will call this result function.
Mhm.
So this will not work in any other programming language, because result function, when I will call it, it will not have access to age and name in any other programming language.
Mhm.
But because it is JavaScript, so what I will do, I will show you the definition of result function. So
Result. And browsing. Yeah, here.
so you can see in the closures you have age and name. So from there, this result function is taking the values and printing it.
Got it. So
Okay,
interesting. So interesting.
So this is a concept that doesn't work in any other programming language. This is a concept of pure JavaScript only. Okay, so the inner function will have access to the outer function variables because of this concept called closure. Okay, so result function, when I am calling it, it can still print age and name. In other programming languages, it will print undefined, because age and name will be lost. But because age and name are a part of closure for result function, so it will take that values from closure object.
Got it.
Which is present inside scopes. Okay.
Yes. What is it? Yeah, it's almost same thing.
So there is a very interesting question that is asked in interview. So what interview will ask you, that suppose I have to calculate some, this is my problem, 2, then 4, then 7, then 8, like this. I missed something. Okay, like this. Now interviewer will ask you, okay, when I run this command, when I run this, my output should be 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 7, 13, 13 plus 8, 21. This is a very, very famous question that is asked in interviews.
Yes.
Okay, so this answer uses closure. So what you can do, make one function add. Okay, this will take some number. Now this will return one function which will again take some number, num1. And this will again return a function
number 2,
which will take return num2, or maybe I should give num1 here, then num2 here, then num3 here, then again return function num4, and now this will return num1 plus num2 plus num3 plus num4. Okay, now what you can do, you can call like this, add, then first number may be 2, then second number may be 4, then third number may be 5, and the last number may be 9. And maybe you can
2, 4, 7, 8, or
No, no, I am just giving any random numbers. You can also
Okay,
give 2,
got
4,
it.
7, 8. Yeah, you can give 2, 4, 7, 8. That is not an issue. And when you print this result, so you can see 21 is coming. 8 plus 7, 15, 15 plus 4, 19, 19 plus 2, 21.
Yes.
So now where is closure used in this? In this whole, where is closure used? So you can see in the last function how this is having access to num1, num2, num3. Okay, num4 is the part of function, last one. On line 22, this function is having access to num4. But how it is having access to num1, num2, num3? Because of closure.
Closer. Okay.
Okay, because
love
this function will have access to all the variables that were declared in its environment. So it will have access to num2 also, 3 also, 1 also. And if you want to see it, I will give the name for maybe function sum3, function sum2, function sum1, maybe this one sum, and return function this one, sum3,
and constant result
and I
equals
will
sum
try
something.
to print console.dir sum3. And here I will write sum.
Yeah.
Unreachable code, and where I can print console.dir.
Still unreachable? Or
Yeah, it is still unreachable. So what I will do, I will break this. So first, const sum1 equals to sum maybe 2. Then const sum2 equals to, or I should give some new names, const add1 equals to sum2, const add2 equals to add1 and 4. Then const add3 equals to add2 7. And then const add 4 equals to add 3 8. Okay, so what add1 will be? Add1 will be this sum1 function. Then add2 will be sum2. Then add3 will be this one. It will return this one. This will return this one. This will return this one.
Correct.
And add 3. And this will be the result. Instead of add 4, this will be your result. Okay, so now let me print add 3 for you. Console.dir add 3. And let me print result also for you. See, this is a little bit complicated topic. That's why I'm saying again. If you are facing any issues, you can stop me at that moment, because this is very important for you to understand. So let me refresh it. So you can see result is 21. And when I open this function and the scopes, you can see a lot of closures. So first closure is having some num3 s7, this one, num1 s2. Then this one is having closure of num2 s4. Then this one is having closure of num3 s7. So this function
have
sum3
three closures.
is having 3 closures. Okay, first closure with the num1 value, second closure with the num2 value, third closure with the num3 value.
Yes, I understand that.
So this is I wanted to demonstrate you. Num1, num2, num3. Getting it?
Yes.
So this is very, 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 very important topic. And this question is asked in a lot of interviews. To myself, it has been asked in almost 10 or 12 interviews.
Wow. I'm so excited about interviews.
Yeah, it is a good fun actually. And you should not worry. Even if it doesn't go good also, na, what I generally do after interviews, I used to make notes. So like what are the different questions that have been asked in every interview, I used to make notes for that.
Okay.
Okay, so now in some of the interviews, they will ask you about some practical implementation also. Like what is the practical use of it? Why we use it in what is the use of closures in front end? Like this, they can ask you. So it is generally used with some event handlers. Okay, so for example, you have some, or maybe we can take up this kind of example. So for example, you have 3 anchor tags. Let me copy this to the HTML file. So if I go to our file, so what I want that when I click 12, then my heading should be of 12 font size. When I click 14, then my heading should be of 14 font size. When I click 16, then my heading should be of 16 font size. Okay, so
yes.
So to implement this, we will try to implement a closure. So
yeah. Now, yeah.
So I will make one function which is make sizer, and this is having one parameter size. Okay, and this is returning a function which is using this size. Again, this inner function is using a variable of outer function. It means it is using closure. It is forming a closure.
Yep.
Okay, make sizer is an outer function. This one is an inner function which is using this size.
Yeah.
Okay, and what it is doing, whatever size we will pass here, it will assign to the to all the elements that size. So if I pass 12, then body size will be 12 pixels. If I assign 16, then it will be 16 pixels. Document.body.style.font size. It means all the elements, all the text that is present in the HTML body will turn to that size.
I understand. There is, which one it will be closer?
So closure is forming, this inner function has formed with this size variable. Because size is a member of make sizer. And this inner function is using this size.
Yep. Okay. Got it. now.
Inner function is using the variable or a member of an outer variable, and that is because of closure.
Mhm. Okay. Perfect.
Okay. So what I will do now, I will make three variables. One is where size 12 equals to make sizer, and I will pass 12.
Mhm.
Similarly, I will make one more 14 equals to make sizer 14.
14.
Similarly, where sizer
16.
16 equals to make sizer 16. So now the size 12 is one function, size 14 is one function, and I will try to print them also for you. Let me so size 14 is not defined. Oh, sorry, it is sizer 14,
Sizer. Mhm.
or maybe I can change it to size. So you can see it's a function which is having scopes. Scopes, there is something called closure. Inside this closure, there is some size that is 14.
Yep.
Okay, so it means
Yes.
this size 12, size 14 is this inner function,
Mhm.
which is forming a closure with this size variable, which is a part of make sizer outer function.
Mhm.
Okay, now
Yes.
what I can do, on, we have three links here. One is having a ID of size 12, one is having a ID of size 14, and one is having a ID of size 16.
Mhm.
So I want that on click of this first link, my body should be of size 12. On click of this link, my HTML page should be of size 14 font.
Mhm.
And on click of this link, my HTML should be of font 16. So what I can do now,
You're gonna
document
use event
dot
handler.
get element by ID, right? Document dot
Uh-huh.
get element by ID, and what is the ID? Size 12.
Size, yeah, 12 and 14, 16.
Dot on click equals to size 12. Similarly,
All of them.
size 14, it should be size 14. So what will happen when that element will be clicked? Automatically, this size 12 function will be triggered. This one.
Yep.
When this one will be clicked, then size 14 function will be triggered. And when this
Mhm.
function will be triggered, then font size will turn to 14 pixel or 12 pixel. Similarly, size 16
16.
equals to size 16. So let me try it in the browser. And property on click of null. Why?
Haha. Yeah. How you can find? I couldn't
So
find.
let me click
Yeah.
14. Let me click 16. You can see the size is changing.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay, so this is a good practical implementation of closure. They will ask you, can you give
Yeah.
us a practical implementation of closure? So you can say, I can give you. So you can
Yeah. We
make three
can
links.
change it. change the size.
Yeah. So what we have done here, we have made one function that is makesizer, that is returning one function. Inside that inner function, I am using this document dot body dot style dot font size equals to size plus pixel, and size is coming from this outer function makesizer. And I am making three different functions: size 12, 14, and 16. And I am putting click handlers on all the three links.
Got it.
Okay, so this is a practical implementation of
Clover.
Okay, any questions
Yes.
till now? Whatever we have discussed?
Theoretically, everything is okay. Yeah, clear to me. I need more practice. After that, I'm gonna figure out how it's clear to me.
Right. Okay, now let's see your homework. What have you done?
I didn't know my homework, but I did a lot of things for practice. Can I share my, no,
Yeah, I am
disable,
allowing you.
okay, yeah.
I think now you can share your screen.
Okay. Yeah, from here.
So what was the homework?
Split operation. I forgot which one is my homework,
First
cause
homework
I didn't
was
check
to
YouTube.
You have to find duplicate. You have to remove duplicates from an array.
Yes, but I didn't done my homework because I can't remember what's my homework. For
you
that
try
one,
now?
yes, right now. Actually, no. No. Okay, there's
No.
give me one
Remove these
second.
numbers from starting. Not this one,
Oh.
from starting.
From here.
Remove this. And now write new set.
Yeah, new set.
And
That's it. Yeah.
this should work. Try now. Run this file.
Let me. Let me share my desktop.
Open the terminal here only, na?
Yep, give me 1 sec. Okay. And let me share again my desktop. Yeah.
Okay, this is one of the way. What is the other way?
Other way, I know only this way, but let me figure out how can do that. Yeah, I know this one only.
So other way is using filter. So go to the code.
Okay.
And
Filter.
you write something.
Probably something like that, but
no.
Yeah, we're gonna fix this part, of course. Okay,
So,
let me go here and figure out what we can do.
So write maybe a new array const.
Const filtered. Let's do double D.
Equals to numbers dot filter.
Numbers dot filter.
And here pass 2 arguments.
In the
EL, first
EL,
argument is the element, comma, index. And here you write no. Give a curly brace. And here you write return, press enter. Return numbers dot index of
return
numbers, the same array, dot index of EL triple equals to index.
Okay, yeah, that condition index.
So
wow.
First,
okay,
I will explain you what it is doing. So
and let me
this
do
condition,
console.
No, nothing console. Console log of filtered. So first understand what this is doing. So numbers dot index of EL. So it will, if numbers dot index of EL. So if your element is like 1, so numbers dot index of 1, it will be 0, and it will match to the index. Index will also be 0 for the first iteration. Then for the second iteration, numbers dot index of EL, that is 2. So that will be 1, and triple equals to index, again it will be 1, again it is matching. Then for 3, numbers dot index of EL, that will be 2, and triple equals to index, which is also 2. Because as I have already told you, in arrays, indexing starts from 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. So for 1 is 0, 2 is 1, 3 is 2, 2 is again 3, 3 is 4.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Perfect.
you got this right?
Yes, clear to me. Yeah, and other ones, that's it. I mean, there's for each, I practice for each. It's also, and one more, it's alternative way. I'm gonna find the filter. Give me 1 second. Okay, this one. No. Reducer, okay. With reducer, we can get result with same thing with for of loop.
Yeah, fine. So